Welcome to ESPN's coverage of Champ Week presented by Principal. As Champ Week rolls on tonight, we're in Las Vegas, and it is the title game in this West Coast Conference Championship. The matchup we seem to get year after year, the two powerhouse teams in this great basketball league. It's the #1 seed, the Gales of St. Mary's, who really in so many ways dominated the regular season in this conference against the team that has done that so many times over the years, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The #2 seed in this tournament. Here's how the teams got to this championship game. St. Mary's took down the upstart, the great upset story, Pepperdine. St. Mary's with a decisive win yesterday. Gonzaga, a spirited game against the 3 seed San Francisco. And we get 1 and 2 here in the championship game. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham, great to have you with us. However you want to say it. The sky is blue, water's wet. The Zags and the Gales in the championship game of this WCC tournament. It happens every year.
It does, and we see this rivalry so frequently. The regular season matchups have often determined the regular season champion. And then they always seemingly meet on this night here in Las Vegas for that automatic bid. These two coaches have had outstanding seasons. Their programs have been elite year in and year out. And this has truly become one of the best rivalries in college basketball.
The head-to-head matchups this year both went to the Gales, and a big reason why was their star point guard. The 119th all-time meeting between St. Mary's and Gonzaga. Overall numbers lopsided, but the Gales have won 4 of the last 5, and including the 2 regular season meetings this year. And their point guard, Augustus Marciulionis, Randy Bennett's star, 2-time player of the year in this conference. He's been a huge reason why.
He has been, but quick starts have been. Like Zags fans will tell you, well, the 11-0 start in Spokane, senior day lineup, very different. But let's not forget Moraga. They got off to an 18-8 start. Getting off to a good start, really key for St. Mary's tonight, and Augustus Marciulionis is that guy.
Meanwhile, that dude, Graham Ike, wow, was he good last night against the Dons.
I mean, the numbers astound you with 27 points. I know your eyes go immediately to the number of fouls drawn. That's going to be key again tonight, because if you can get Mitchell Saxon to the bench, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and it's so great that the fans have turned out. Long way from Spokane. Huge number of Zags fans, and a lot of Gales fans are here this year as well. Meeting #3, head-to-head this season, and Gonzaga will have the ball first in this championship game.
I never take it for granted I'm sitting next to you again for a championship game in this conference. It's been a heck of a ride, partner.
We have had so many special games between these two. How about Braden Huff in the starting lineup? That is unusual, a change for the Zags. That's pretty big news.
I think they really want to attack down low and see if they can soften up the interior of this defense.
Ooh, very soft touch from Ike, little baseline fadeaway jump shot. Meanwhile, the same starting lineup for the Gales they've had all year long.
Expect to see a lot of zone tonight, in particular if Mikey Lewis isn't out on the floor.
Mitchell Saxon against Ike, working one-on-one. Saxon, little shot fake, and then Ike fouled him.
Whoever stays on the floor longer between those two players, their team is likely to win the game.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that the first play of the game offensively for St. Mary's was trying to go at Ike.
And equally, they went to Graham Ike.
Yeah.
Both of these teams have toughness, and in particular, they battle on the glass. And Saxon's one of the best offensive rebounders in the country, not just in the conference. Where he struggles is at the free throw line.
It's really the one weakness of his game. 2-time defensive player of the year in this league. He's big, he's strong, he's tough, he's a great offensive rebounder, but he does struggle at the line. Makes the second, so the Gales are on the board. This is the change for Gonzaga. Instead of Ben Gregg, Braden Huff in the starting lineup.
Ben Gregg has had some pretty good games lately, and again, this move wasn't made indicative based on play of Ben Gregg, but to try to do something different within this matchup.
Ike right at Saxon, and Ike came up short. And you could really see Saxon, I think, try to defend and then not be at risk of getting called for the foul. Here's Luke Barrett, 3 left side, too strong. Caleb Battle had a big semifinal game with a rebound.
Zone, really important defense for Gonzaga. They want to see if St. Mary's can make enough three-point shots to beat them. Now, they made 9 the last time they played, but how many did they make last night? 2.
They had a dominant win anyway, but you're right. Both these teams, actually, for all the good stuff that they do, they don't make a ton of threes ordinarily. Here's Marciulionis, went by Hickman. Got The ball sort of poked, but came back up with it. Morauskas missed the shot. So the first couple minutes, teams trying to get into an offensive rhythm. That's Huff. He's such a good scorer.
Really good start for the team from Spokane. They have forced St. Mary's in some lower quality shots in the first couple possessions, and they've got the ball to the big guys underneath. It's why they made the change.
It's already a better start than they had in either of the two matchups during the regular season. Morauskas passed up the three. Saxon working against Ike with the left hand. No. Ryan Nemhard quickly up the court, but Saxon was there to block it. Gales very happy to be deliberate on offense. Luke Barrett, offensive rebound, puts it back in.
He makes all the hard plays. I mean, he sneaks in. He'll find rebounds outside of his area and be able to put them back in.
Now Morauskas went for the steal. Huff falls down. Battle, baseline, good pass. Ike was fouled, and he made it anyway.
Well, if you're going to foul him, you better foul him hard enough to not allow him to rip right through your arms. Graham Ike has come to play tonight. Outstanding dive right from the top, and then good, strong move through the contact.
So a chance for a three-point play. Unlike the Gales' big man, Mitchell Saxon, Graham Ike is a great free throw shooter. Makes that one. That's a three-point play, and it's an early 7-3 Gonzaga lead. We'll show up some full court pressure.
You go back into that zone, off the pressure.
Morauskas shoots the three left side. No, he's off to a cold start offensively. There is the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Mark Few, one of the true all-time great coaches in the history of this sport. 14-time WCC Coach of the Year, although the guy on the other side's won it 4 years in a row, which is kind of amazing.
I mean, pretty incredible when you look at Mark Few's record here in the WCC tournament. 52-6. 52-6.
He has never not been in this championship game, ever, in his tenure. This is his 26th season as the head coach of the Zags. He has played, his teams have played in this championship game every single year.
And of course, he's led them to 9 consecutive Sweet 16s.
Huff scores again.
But that was a beautiful pass by Ike. Talk about the need for St. Mary's to get off to a hot start. They're not really built to come back from large deficits. Now, this isn't a large deficit, but you've got to start executing at the offensive end and getting some cleaner looks.
Took Morauskas out. Wessels is in. Marshallonis against Huff. Marshallonis gets his first basket of the night.
That's also his first shot attempt of the night.
Yeah.
You think he senses that moment of, things aren't going well. Maybe instead of just facilitating and running it, I got to be able to look to score.
Good defense by Marshallonis to cut off Ryan Nemhard. What a battle of point guards that is. Battle elevates, and he gets the basket. Nobody played more minutes for the Zags last night than Caleb Battle. Played really well.
He was outstanding.
Here's a three from Marshallonis. No. Wessels grabbed the offensive rebound, and then it was poked by Nemhard off of the leg of Wessels. So Zags are going to get it back.
The Zags are going to get it back, and the Zags are looking to get back at the Gales after taking 2 losses in the regular season. They're off to a great start.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. One last night in Las Vegas here in the West Coast Conference Championship game. The matchup we get year after year, and it always comes through. Gonzaga with a very good start. They lead the Gales 11-5. And Mark Few made that little lineup change. He's got to be pleased with the way that worked in the first few minutes of the game. How about this? Conference title games individual matchups in Division I basketball history. This is now the most common championship matchup in the history of college hoops. More than Duke Carolina, more than Duke NC State, Gonzaga, St. Mary's.
And look at the span. The span is so much shorter than those other two.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it. I think people flipping on their TV for the first time, like, come on. Gonzaga St. Mary's is one of the best rivalries in basketball. It is. They play more frequently than anybody. They have top 4 winning percentage over the last 10 years in college basketball. These are 2 of the top 4.
It's been the same 2 head coaches. It's been the same 2 programs and systems and cultures. Here's Huff, who shoots the 3. Good! Wow, in the starting lineup, and he's playing inspired.
12 of the 14 has come from either Huff or EK. A good move by Mark Few that has really paid off early in this game.
A Hall of Fame kind of coaching decision at the start of this championship game. Saxon got double teamed and couldn't pass out of it. That's a turnover. Here's Battle on the attack. Battle spins it in. St. Mary's is getting punched here early. Saxon hit the floor. Here's Jordan Ross. His 3 is too strong. Wessels taps it to Barrett, who then lost it. It's going to be Battle again. He's not slowing down. He'll go to the free throw line.
Dave, watch this on the previous possession. We're going to freeze it right here. Ryan Nembhard looks at Battle and says, where are you going? Get to that double team, and pushes him into the double team. The double team comes. That creates the steal, which creates the opportunity to run ahead, and Caleb Battle able to finish. Outstanding job by Nembhard to push his teammate into it and say, you need to be there, and I'm going to get it back to you.
Yeah, that's one way to lead. Just get out there and start moving people around.
Kind of like I do with the broadcast table to you when you start leaning over in my direction.
Get out of my space.
Speaking of which, Mikey Lewis just checked into the game. Now, we've seen a lot of zone. I don't think they can zone out on the floor when Mikey Lewis is out there, because he has electrified this offense in the 2 games that he's played against Gonzaga.
18-5. Man, Gonzaga looks great in the early minutes. That might be the best stretch of basketball they've had all year.
They've been outstanding. It's March, right?
Barrett gave up the 3. Here is Lewis. Nembhard closed out on him, forced him to shoot the 2, and he makes it.
Good. There's something about the best teams that bring something out of Mikey Lewis. That was a big-time move against a veteran player. Stop, hesitate, create space, and elevate.
And you watch the Gales sometimes. You kind of know why it happens, but there are games where he doesn't play much at all. Greg, the cut, and the dunk, right on top of Saxon.
Oh, Ben Gregg.
That was rude. St. Mary's not used to anybody doing this to him. Saxon, one dribble, ran into a wall, and then missed the shot. Wessels grabs the rebound, brought the ball down. He let Battle tie him up.
Dave, Ben Gregg didn't get the start tonight, and I think he took that personally. Oh my, look at this. Woo. Look at that. Anybody across the country that thought the Zags were still not the Zags, as Seth Davis would say, the Zags got dudes, and the dudes are playing well tonight.
Timeout, Gales. Wow. Well, St. Mary's is one of the big, I know they're a small school, small campus. They're considered a small program. They're one of the biggest, strongest teams in college basketball. They're getting dominated inside right now.
They're getting dominated in every phase of this game. Dave, give me one area that you don't think that they've been dominated in right now.
Inbound passing.
Okay, good. But Gonzaga has been great. They've been really attached at the defensive end of the floor. They've made good switches. They're communicating well.
Lewis, no. Barrett got fouled, I believe, by Battle, going for the offensive rebound.
Look, this is a Gonzaga team that in the last month of the season, they got off to slow starts pretty frequently. I mean, there's nothing slow about this. This was a business trip for them, and they have come out and they have executed near perfect so far in this game. Shooting 73% from the floor, dominating the points in the paint.
And they're playing great on defense as well. Saxon trying to get closer, and he missed the shot. Here comes Battle, who's faster than everybody. Battle missed it. Wow, he got to the bucket and then missed it, and then he just tackled Mikey Lewis.
I mean, their defense. Look, St. Mary's is a really good defensive team, right? We've talked about that all season long, where they rank, and their scoring defense is really good. They manage possessions. They've turned the ball over 3 times. They're shooting 23%. They've gotten almost no offensive rebounds.
Finally, an uncontested look for Saxon. Gonzaga's letting him operate in the middle of the offense. That's not usually where he's most comfortable. That was a pretty good move. Huff's been a part of almost everything on offense. Nembhard short on the 3.
If you're Gonzaga right now, keep attacking the paint. You have not been a great, prolific three-point shooting team. Continue to get the ball inside and be aggressive.
They're double-teaming Marshallonis, and somebody's got to make him pay for that. Saxon high off the glass.
Back-to-back possessions. Mitchell Saxon has got going towards the bucket. That's who St. Mary's is when they're good.
Here's Nembhard down the lane. Kicks it back out. Battle shoots a 3. No.
Back-to-back possessions with 3-point shots for Gonzaga.
Gales.
They are now 1 for 4 from 3.
Wessel's so big and strong, but he lost it again. It's the second time he's just kind of lost it. Nembhard goes all the way and scores. Harry Wessel's got to be a little stronger with the ball than that. There's nobody who looks tougher than that dude.
He looks gassed, though. I mean, he's huffing and puffing. Sometimes in these championship games, the adrenaline hits you really hard, and you got to get to that second wind.
Good point. Saxon! Now, that was a pretty good move. I guess they're not counting the shot. Called the foul on the floor. I thought he was in the motion going up when the whistle blew, but no basket. It is a foul against Gonzaga, who has an early 22-11 lead.
Ryan Nembhard doing Nembhard things, gets downhill, able to finish. That's his first made bucket. Already 3 assists, though, and the offense is flowing for the Bulldogs.
Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here in Las Vegas. It's Champ Week in the West Coast Conference. Do you think there's any doubt the Zags came out inspired in this game?
Emotion. It's what March is all about. Collectively, can you channel your emotion to be positive and then put it in a situation where you go out and execute as emotional as you can be and harness that? They've done a great job early.
Such a proud program. 22 regular season titles in Mark Few's 26 years. Title game streak, 2 times in the national title game in the big tournament. 9 consecutive Sweet 16 appearances. That streak is on the line this year. And I think all those accolades, all that accomplishment, the incredible success under Mark Few, and they're taking it personally that they've lost 4 of the last 5 head-to-head against St. Mary's. They got swept in the regular season. And in portions of those 2 games, they got pushed around a little bit by the Gales.
Well, and they had to watch St. Mary's celebrate in the McCarthy Athletic Center. Their home court, first time ever in that building's history.
The team had clinched and celebrated on that floor. Saxon kind of hesitated, but it turned into a nice play.
St. Mary's is starting to figure out their offense here a little bit. And now it comes down to, can you take away the pain for Gonzaga? Force them to shoot out over the top.
EK's back in the game. You figure they're going to go to him quickly. Almost lost it out of bounds.
Anytime he catches the ball down low on the block, you got to double team him.
EK elevates, missed it. Saxon taps it to Marshallonis. I want to go back to one thing you said. When Mikey Lewis came in the game, you said, hey, they might not be able to defend St. Mary's exactly the same way. The Gales' offense has been better since that moment.
Well, and they've had to go to man-to-man. They've played man-to-man since Mikey Lewis has checked in. They play zone without him, man-to-man with him. His impact on this game has been huge, even with only 1 made bucket.
Good pass to Barrett, but he didn't cash in on a wide-open 3. Some of those have to go down. You make the right play, get an open look. Here's Nemhard over to Nolan Hickman. He'll get it back from Ike. Baseline drive. Swatted by Saxon. And then I think it was, I thought it was off Hickman's leg, but they say it's going to stay Gonzaga ball.
Saxon, his second block. And this one against a smaller guard trying to go on the reverse layup and just stayed with it. And that one was off of Hickman's knee.
I mean, I'm sitting a long way from the play, and I could see that.
That was pretty clear.
That was.
See if the Zags can capitalize on the extra opportunity.
Shot clock down to 7. Hickman gets a screen from Ike. Hickman will pull up and miss it. Ike tapped it, but Barrett comes away.
I think you almost have to keep Mikey Lewis out on the floor if they're going to continue to have to play man-to-man with him, because the offense is moving a lot better with Mikey Lewis out there.
You don't think of him as a creator, but that was a really good pass. Really good.
Well, the zone has caused problems for the Gales. The Bulldogs have gone to man-to-man. All of a sudden, things are starting to open up, and this game's getting tighter.
St. Mary's, at the very least, I'm sure feels like they've stabilized things.
They've made 4 out of the last 5, Dave.
Nemhard. Gonzaga continues to shoot the ball well, not from 3, but inside the arc, they've been excellent. Borowski's spin move, Hickman fouled him.
Well, we talk about changing the game. Mikey Lewis steps out on the floor. You go to man-to-man, and he's such a good scorer. Everybody's got awareness, but showing extra dimensions to his game. A beautiful touch pass that time to Mitchell Saxon.
Gales have been a different team with him on the floor, no doubt. Barrett just dribbled and lost it. That was jump ball. Nemhard ripped the ball away.
He's just dribbling to nowhere, though. And you've got to be on balance. You've got to be strong. The one thing Gonzaga has done is they've matched the physicality early. They've been the more physical team. And that was one of the challenges for Mark Few to his squad. Can you be the more physical team? Can you take that level of aggressiveness that St. Mary's has played with twice, and can you exceed that?
5 Gales turnovers. Zags have not turned the ball over yet. That's a big difference in this game, and they've capitalized on turnovers, Gonzaga has. Hickman feeds Ike down low.
I think you got to bring help. You can't let him play one-on-one.
As good as Saxon is, they travel. So not a foul. That's a travel before the shot.
I understand the travel, but Dave, I'm telling you, if you keep playing one-on-one and allow Graham Ike to catch the ball down low in the block, he's going to shoot 70% in this game. 70% plus.
I mean, you're talking about one of the best defenders in the country down low. Mitchell Saxon, doesn't matter.
No. Ike overpowers. He does his work early. He buries you underneath the hoop.
Double team came. Morauskas really didn't see it. Skipped it over the top. They're paying extra attention to Mikey Lewis. He scores anyway. And a foul.
I mean, they put Michael Ajayi on him for the sole purpose of saying you got to cool him off. Mikey Lewis, there's something about it. When he sees the Gonzaga uniform, he gets that dog in him. Excellent drive. Great finish for the freshman.
Let's go, let's go. Time to start the show. Let's go, let's go. It all starts right now.
All right, Champ Week in full swing now. The ACC tournament got underway. T. Rowe Price, ACC men's tournament today. Notre Dame beat Pitt. Cal in double overtime. They're the kings of overtime. Took down Virginia Tech. So we get Cal Stanford tomorrow. You get Carolina Notre Dame tomorrow. That's a huge game for the Tar Heels. SMU waiting the winner of Florida State Syracuse.
Big game. North Carolina cannot lose that game if they want to keep their title hopes alive at all. And a typical ACC traditional rivalry between Stanford and Cal.
Well, you know what? If those two teams are going to play in the ACC, they might as well meet in the tournament.
Okay. Can we go back to what we've been talking about?
Yes, please.
And I mentioned it when he checked in the game. You brought it back up. How he changes the way you have to play. Defensively, how you match up. Everybody else on the team, -7, -7, -12, and plus-minus. Mikey Lewis comes out on the floor, they're +6.
13-7 since he came in the game. When he checked in, it was 17-5 Gonzaga.
Let him cook.
Nemhard trying to work with Ike and get him the ball. Couldn't get it to him. Saxon doing a good job. Ike working hard down low. Sets the screen. Nemhard pulls up, and I think Morauskas might have deflected it. We'll see. Yeah, he did. So it'll stay Gonzaga ball with 8 to shoot.
Well, too, with the lineup that's out on the floor right now, you can kind of hide Mikey Lewis a little bit defensively. Gente's not a really good offensive threat.
That's a good point. Hickman can shoot. Hickman's three, short. Barrett grabs a rebound. Here's Lewis creating again. Not this time. And Ike grabs a rebound. He got a good look, though.
The Zags have gotten away from finding Graham Ike on the block. I'd get it back to him.
Ajayi, one dribble. Have to reset.
And the pace of this game starts to slow down. That benefits St. Mary's, who wants to play at a slower pace.
Nemhard shoots a three, in and out. Ball spins over to Barrett. Marciulionis gets up off the floor, and St. Mary's will run their half-court offense. Gale still haven't made a three. Saxon's pass just wasn't a real good one. That was a good save by Morauskas.
And Marciulionis just hits the brakes.
Yep. And a tough shot. Barrett, is that the third time that Barrett's put the ball on the floor and had it stripped away?
He needed to just keep it high. Just no need to bring the ball down into traffic. Keep that high. If you don't have a shot to go back up, you kick it out to a three-point shooter. Plenty of time on the shot clock as it reset off the miss.
He's doing a great job on the boards, but then giving the ball up.
It just brings it down and no awareness. You got to be strong with that ball. Good job by Inocente to go ahead and knock that one loose.
I mean, Luke Barrett, this guy has had an amazing career. He's a heck of a role player for St. Mary's. More than that, really. But he's not a guy who handles the ball much at all. He's already turned it over 3 times himself.
Got to value.
I mean, he's probably held the ball for a grand total of 30 seconds in this game.
Now, let me also point this out to you. This run has coincided with 2 fouls on Caliph Battle.
Yeah.
So when Battle's out, they're not as prolific as a three-point shooting team. The defense can start to be a little bit more compact for St. Mary's.
Huff comes back in the game. Dusty Stromer checks in for the first time. So you got Huff and Ike on the floor together again. They'll go high-low. Huff with the catch. He got fouled on the floor. No shot. Foul against Morauskas. Polis Morauskas, the newcomer of the year in this league, and yet he has not made an impact in this game yet. Hasn't scored, 0 for 3 from the field. Huff going to work against him. Huff just getting closer and closer. Missed the shot, followed his own miss, and he scores!
Braden Huff outworking Morauskas.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a good shot, and you've got inside position. You got to put a body. You just can't watch the ball and let Huff run around you.
And Randy Bennett doesn't tolerate that. Mitchell Saxon just sat down for a rest, and he's getting ready to come back in the game.
I guarantee you it's coming in for number 23.
Guaranteed. He's going to get a shot up before he comes out, and it wasn't a good one. Here's Nemhard, and Marciulionis has to foul him in the open court.
Now, Braden Huff has come to play here tonight, and pretty good job. Well, look at Morauskas just turns his head, and Huff goes, cool. I'm going to go get the ball, I'm going to rip it away, and I'm going to finish.
Yeah, his head coach is unhappy with him right now. And Huff, the things we've been saying about Mikey Lewis, Huff has been that kind of difference maker for the Zags. Hickman, little runner. Back up to a 10-point lead.
We got Ryan Nemhard on Mikey Lewis right now. Nolan Hickman, who did a great job defensively last night against Beasley.
Marshallonis.
He was guarding Marshallonis, and Marshallonis was able to get by him.
It tells you how strong that kid is.
There's no quit in Augustus Marshallonis. Statistically speaking, he's not the best player in this conference, but you couple that with his leadership, his intangibles, and the wins that this program has had, in particular the last 2 years.
Great pass, Huff wide open, and he's a good three-point shooter, just missed it. That's a good look for the Zags.
Strummer's on Marshallonis. Marshallonis has got to cook.
Yeah, you would think he'd want to get the ball back. Instead, it's Saxon, one dribble, and he just missed it.
Marshallonis is too big, too strong for Dusty Strummer. And if you have that matchup, you've got to find that and take advantage of it.
Nemhard just working his way down the lane.
So smooth, so in control. 6 points, 4 assists for Ryan Nemhard. How was he left off the Cousy World Top 5?
Crazy.
Leads the nation in assists.
Having one of the great passing seasons in recent college basketball history. Lewis has to give it up. He'll get it back from Wessels. Pull up for three. Off the back iron. Ike, but a foul, and I think they're going to call Huff for the foul on the floor.
Well, Ryan Nemhard, one of the great facilitators in the country, leads the nation in assists, but understanding that he can get to his spot, in particular in the paint, elevate up, he's been finishing at a very efficient rate early tonight.
Seth J. Zubin coming up at the half. 3 more tickets punched, including a half-court heave that had everyone holding their breath at the NEC final. We'll show it to you at the half. What are we seeing here in the first half?
Well, Gonzaga's getting stops. They're getting out in transition. They're trying to play with a lot of force and a lot of pace. They've done a good job with that. Only had one little stretch where they struggled getting stops. That is Gonzaga basketball.
I look forward to seeing how Gonzaga continues to play with their bigger lineup. But I think with their bigger lineup, this could be an Elite 8 team. They have that type of potential.
Ooh, look at you going out on bold
my
statement.
sleeper pick.
Very bold statement.
Saying.
See you at the half of the 119th meeting between these two.
Bold statement.
That's a lot of meetings between these two great rivals, and so many of them happened here in Las Vegas with a lot on the line. A championship game tonight in the WCC with 3:31 to go until halftime. Gonzaga has controlled the first 17 minutes of this one. And Ryan Nemhard, you mentioned it. How in the world is he not on the Cousy list?
It's unbelievable.
Come on.
I mean, without him on the floor leading this offense, Mark Few has told us we'd be a wreck.
Mark said to us in his years of coaching, not just his players, other players that they played against, I think he's the best passer, pure passer that I've ever seen.
He said his vision is second to none, and that includes, by the way, that team he coached over the summer last year.
Yeah.
The Olympic team.
Which had some pretty good players and point guards on it.
I mean, he throws the ball through some really small windows, and his teammates have come to expect it, which is a big reason why his turnovers numbers are so down.
Saxon missed the second free throw. Huff is going to save it inbounds. So here is Nemhard, matched up against Marshallonis. Lewis off the floor for the Gales. Jordan Ross back in. Nolan Hickman against him, draws a foul. So immediately attacked against Jordan Ross.
A good job by Hickman, who's done a lot of good things in this tournament. In particular, the defense last night. You know, sometimes you get caught up in the offensive numbers and what's your production been like, but Nolan Hickman's been around for a really long time in Spokane, Washington.
He has. He's played so many games. This is his 12th career game against St. Mary's alone. Selection Sunday, these two teams are going to be in, but this game does mean a lot in terms of where they're going to fit. We got you covered 7 Eastern bracketology as the field is announced. The women's selection special at 8 on ESPN, then a couple extra bracketology shows at 9 Eastern and 10 Eastern. So all evening Sunday covering the reveal.
Well, the pressure bothered St. Mary's again. They barely got the ball over the top of the timeline.
Henry Wessels with the basket.
Good drop off by Marshallonis.
Ike runs the floor. Wessel swats it away. Ike wanted a goaltend, but none was called.
Harry Wessel's got a big block in that game in Moraga. That was great hustle by the big man who scored it at one end and got back in transition with urgency.
He's been playing well down the stretch of this season. Saxon got his feet set and made the basket.
If you're St. Mary's, get a couple more stops. Keep playing through your bigs on that pick and roll and finding them in an area where they can be successful. You can whittle this thing down.
Hickman shoots the three off the front iron. Gonzaga continues to struggle from the outside.
Anytime St. Mary's forces a three-point shot, whether it goes in or not, it is a good defensive possession for them because the percentages of Gonzaga in the paint, they're so efficient. From three, they are not. They're 1 of 7, as you mentioned, Dave.
And the Gales haven't made a three yet. Ross working his way into the lane. Wessels grabs the miss. Wessels off the glass. Bodies flying everywhere, but St. Mary's is back within 4. Wessel's having a nice stretch here the last few possessions. Tries to challenge the three, in and out.
A 4-point game with a minute and a half. If you're St. Mary's, you were getting run off the floor early here. And now you've almost erased an entire 13-point deficit.
Listen to this place. Isn't this cool? It's the first half. Just great energy in the building. Nemhard, and they call a foul. He reached in to try to steal it away from Saxon, and he fouled him.
Man, this is fun. A big-time response by the Gales.
That's the second foul against Ryan Nemhard.
A 6-0 run, an opportunity to add to it here. Again, Mitchell Saxon, not a great free throw shooter. Caleb Battles checking back in the game with 2 personal fouls.
It's going to be very important for him to play under control here. Yeah, that's sort of not his game. He's a high-speed player, but if your coach is trusting you to get in with 2 fouls in the first half, got to be cautious.
This is the first time Nemhard has been subbed out in a game against St. Mary's this year.
And he didn't ever come out against him last year. He has played every minute, Ryan Nemhard, of every game he's ever played against St. Mary's, and this is the 6th time he's played him until right now. Never come out until now. Battle and Wessel's having a little chat on the line.
He's like, you're a big dude.
I didn't realize how big you were. Saxon.
How about he hits both? 2-point game. I think if you're Randy Bennett, you're really pleased with how your team responded because you were getting run off the floor early. And the toughness that is St. Mary's has started to really kind of breathe through this game in the final couple minutes. 8-0 run for the Gales.
The Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Championship has started today. Nice win for the 16th seed. Colorado got a win. Cincinnati got a win. K-State will meet Baylor. Sean Farnham's going to be there tomorrow in Kansas City for that one. And then Kansas. Now, wait a minute. I thought Kansas was playing K-State.
Kansas will play the winner of the Utah UCF.
Oh, so I had that wrong. I was looking forward to a Kansas K-State matchup. But Baylor, K-State, and Kansas either Utah or UCF.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
I won't be there with you.
Why not?
Because
you're going to the Ivy.
I am. I'm going to do the Ivy League Championship this year. Ivy Madness.
Bring a double. Don't let him get to that bounce.
Wessels. Ike lays it in.
That's the first time in a really long time they got Graham Ike the ball down low on the block. And again, if you're going to play him straight up, you can't do it. And I keep going back to it and force St. Mary's to have to change their coverage. Technical foul on Ryan Nemhard.
Wow.
He was told to sit down. He did not. He continued to talk. That is huge.
Yeah, that's for all the good stuff that Ryan Nemhard has done for this team and this program. I've never seen that from him.
I mean, he was up and talking, and the official told him to sit down. He did not.
Wow. So Marshallonis gets the free throws. He makes the first. St. Mary's as a team, it's not just Saxon. They've kind of struggled as a group at the free throw line.
Dave. You look at, he's chirping at the ref. He walks away, still won't sit down, still then says something to the official, and that got him the tee.
Yeah.
And now you've made this a one-possession game with 30 seconds left, and the Gales have the ball.
Plus, that's his third personal.
It's crazy. He picked up a foul on the bench, which is why he was pulled out of the game. Now, if you're the Gales, I get Saxon on an on-ball screen. They're going to bring Wessels instead.
Marciulionis and Saxon just lost it. Plenty of time for the Zags. Nolan Hickman drives baseline, kicks it out. Huff for three, no. And the horn will sound. That shot wouldn't have counted. We've got ourselves a 2-point game at the half.
What a competitive and spirited first half. The response from the Gales, the start from the Zags. Feels like a championship night in Las Vegas, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed it does. When these two teams get together, it's a big game every single time. 33-31, that's our halftime score. Let's send it to studio.
Dave, Sean, thank you very much for the 28th straight year. The Zags are in this championship game. Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams, Zubin Mehenti. For the first time in the three meetings this year, it finally figures that Gonzaga has sort of figured out St. Mary's. They got out to a huge start. Gales battled back. What have we seen in the first half?
I mean, look, for a guy who's your senior, a guy who's one of your leaders on the team, a guy who leads the team in assists, who's such a critical piece to how this team plays, you can't get your third foul off a technical foul coming from the bench. I get that the game is heated in the conference final, but that's where you got to think through the game. And now if you're at St. Mary's, you're attacking him right out of the gate to get him his fourth foul.
He's the most valuable player for Gonzaga. He starts everything offensively. Now, they got to go get stops, because when they get stops, they get out in transition. That's when they're at the very best. These two teams combined for 1 for 17 from the three-point line. So, I mean, like, both of these teams, this is going to be a grinded-out game. If it's a grinded-out game, it is a favor for St. Mary's, all right, because their ability to wedge rebound, get to the offensive glass, and also get to the free throw line. Gonzaga's got to find a way to be a little bit more aggressive. And the most important player for Gonzaga, besides Ryan Nembhard, is Caleb Battle. When he's on the floor, they're a different team. He's got to stay on the floor for them to have a chance to win. Shoot it and get downhill.
Caleb said he's one of the few guys on the Gonzaga roster that's never defeated St. Mary's, so he has a ton of motivation to do so. 3 tickets punched. Let's run right through it. CAA championship coach Greenberg. Delaware had 12 regular season wins, so they get the 12 seed. Looking for 5 in 5 days. Wilmington's like, look somewhere else.
Yeah, they lost their last 6 before coming into the tournament. Great job by Martin Inglesby, but Newby was just too much his ability to make shots, and they got 33 points from their bench. Wilmington, they wore Delaware out down the stretch.
Yeah, Donovan Newby is an absolute star. And Poucha tried to make a run down the stretch, but little defensive miscues like that is what led to UNC Wilmington winning the game.
No doubt, and they punched their ticket. And then in the horizon, Youngstown taking on Robert Morris. I know both of you guys have an affinity for Robert Morris's coaching. For the first time in a decade, they're dancing.
And Omar Jaffo, he is an absolute big-time player. Transfer from Gannon, a D2 transfer. This team is physical, they're tough, and extremely well coached.
How you say his last name again?
Don't even put that out.
I need to learn it for tournament sakes, okay?
I'll tell you, Figueres, the kid from Spain at 6'9", the most valuable player in that conference, is really skilled and can make plays as well. They play through him.
NEC championship.
You did me that way.
I got to sit between you guys. St. Francis, Central Connecticut. Man, I'll tell you what, this is a back and forth game here. And Coach, you're about to, after this strong finish, just kind of tell us about staying in front here, right? A little bit?
Great job right there. Ties up the game. Get back, set your defense, keep it all in front, force a contested shot. You see Central gets on the side. Great step back right there. Big time jump shot.
Jay, half court to tie.
I mean, this is what dreams are made of. Oh, could have gotten a little bit closer in half court, though.
So they punched their ticket. Of all the teams that punched their ticket, Jay, I know you were kind of hot to wax here a little bit on Drake out of the Missouri Valley as we reveal the teams that are in. They have 30 wins for first-year head coach Ben McCollum.
I think they're a team that's capable of potentially getting to the second weekend if they get the right draw. And plus, they can score it against anybody in the country.
How about that? You guys talked about Ryan Nembhard in the first half. 6 points, 3 fouls. He is the nation's leader in assists. But apparently, he can score as well. 2-point game. We're back with more of the Halftime Report next. Coach to coach, honoring a coaching legend.
Absolutely one of the great people in the history of college basketball. Absolutely a trailblazer for all African-American coaches to get an opportunity.
That's Leonard Hamilton in his final year at Florida State. Jay, you kind of keeping an eye on this one on the ACC network.
Syracuse is a team, obviously, with J.J. Starling, the way they could play. Eddie Lampkin has been the man so far in this game, just absolutely beasting the Seminoles down low.
Syracuse trying to hang in. We're here with about a minute and a half to go as FSU, thanks to Thomas, is going to be able to get to the rim here. And it looks like they're going to end up just a little bit short. We're about 113 and ticking with Syracuse holding a 4-point lead. Again, it's over on the ACC network. Controversial finish here. Guys, foul called on Zach Austin in the final seconds, if there was one to be called.
I don't see a foul there. You, J-Well?
No, I don't think any foul. But, I mean, it comes down to the devil's in the details, Seth. You got to box out if you're Pittsburgh in the game situation.
Don't foul the flight of the ball, find a man, cut him out, then go rebound the basketball. He fouled the flight of the ball, put himself in a bad situation.
And this was the game right here. This free throw decided it with 0.5 to go, much to the chagrin of Jeff Capel. Notre Dame wins 55-54. Jay, that means they've got a very interesting matchup here with the most intriguing team in this bracket, North Carolina.
I really think North Carolina has to play with their bigger lineup. I know they like to play Elliott Condell and R.J. Smith together. I don't see that being a lineup for success in the ACC tournament.
Most important thing, they got to get through that game. Wake Forest would be a quad 2 win. Notre Dame doesn't help them. It can only hurt them.
Championship game Saturday night right here on ESPN. We're back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Jalen Williams, and I play in the West Coast Conference.
Leave a legacy. I'm built different, time pedigree. I'm a legend, they'll remember me. A supernova with the energy. Yeah, leave a legacy. I'm built different, time pedigree. I'm a legend, they'll remember me. A supernova with the energy.
Keeping an eye on Coach Hamilton in his swan song season. Syracuse with a 3-point lead over his Noles on the ACC network. We've got 18 seconds to go. It is a 2-point game. What do we need to look forward to in half two of
Thinking, little man?
Off-played rivalry between these two?
Caleb Battle and Ryan Nebhard have to stay in the game, and they got to rebound the ball if Gonzaga is going to win the game. And you think?
I think if I were St. Mary's, I'm finding different ways. Yeah, booster seat. It's my Phil Jackson seat, okay? I have Kevin Hart's complex. Look, I think I find ways to attack Nembhard, and I try to get him in foul trouble. If you get him out of the game, St. Mary's wins the game.
Caleb and Nebhard are the key to this game, but they got to rebound the ball.
My feet aren't touching the ground. They're swinging.
Phil Jackson probably once coached against that guy's dad. Jay on the throne. Phil's throne. Second half on the way.
Camp Week presented by Principal. What a wild first half we had in the championship game of this West Coast Conference tournament in Las Vegas. We get ready to start the second half. The 1 seed St. Mary's, they were down 17-5 at one point, but they got back in the game and they trailed Gonzaga, the 2 seed, 33-31. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham back here with you. I mean, for a moment there, Sean, it really, truly looked like the Zags were just going to blow them out.
Maybe the best 5 minutes to start a game I've seen Gonzaga play in a really long period of time, and they were able to do it because they were able to create turnovers. The Gales were sloppy with the basketball, and it allowed Gonzaga to take those turnovers and turn them into points as they often do. 7 first-half turnovers led to 11 of the 33 points. So a third of Gonzaga's points came off of turnovers. One of the keys that St. Mary's talked about was they had to value the basketball. They have not done that. Luke Barrett's got to do a better job here in the second half. He's got 3 turnovers. Harry Wessler's got 2 turnovers if they want to kind of win this game. Now, on the flip side, we talked about drawing fouls and who could stay on the floor more. Mitchell Saxon played 19 minutes and 14 seconds. He had 14 points, but maybe more importantly, he drew 4 personal fouls. That got them to the free throw line where they made 7 of 9 in the first half, and this is not a great free throw shooting team for the Gales.
This is our game track presented by Jimmy Johnson. Some of that stuff that Sean's talking about, the hot start for the Zags, St. Mary's defense cooled them off. They started to make more shots. Points off turnovers, definitely a big difference. And Mitchell Saxon, as good a player as he is, he only averages 10 points a game. He's got 14 already. And Ryan Nembhard, how about that story? He was taken out of the game in the final minute of the half with 2 fouls, and then got a technical while he was on the bench. So now he has 3 as we start the second half. St. Mary's has the ball, and a great pass. Saxon dunks it home from Marciulionis.
And we're tied. And the way this game started, I didn't know if we were ever going to see a tie in this game.
St. Mary's has not led for even 1 second. They got blitzed in the early minutes.
If you're Gonzaga, establish your inside presence again. You settled for 3-point shots. They made 1 out of 10.
That's a foul against Morauskas, who's just had a really difficult time. When he's had to guard Huff, he has not been able to handle Huff.
Well, he hasn't contributed very much to this game in a positive fashion so far. He's 0 for 4. He's got 1 rebound, couple of fouls. Like, this is a guy who was the newcomer of the year in the WCC and has had some really big games.
Caleb Battle went right by Barrett and scored.
Remember, Caleb Battle, there's a lot. He got up and pointed right at Mark Few, and Mark Few pointed right back at him. That's a matchup they feel like they can exploit, the athleticism of Caleb Battle against Luke Barrett.
He had to go to the bench with 2 fouls in the first half. Marciulionis, that pass was a little too tough for Saxon. Here's Nemhard on the attack. Comes out the other side. And they're going to feed Huff. As long as Morauskas is matched up against him, they're going to him. Because Morauskas just can't handle him.
Get Harry Wessels up. Braden Huff, Morauskas just getting overpowered and playing timid too. I mean, if you're going to foul there, foul.
Huff, and give Huff credit. Huff is a really skilled, talented offensive player. He has abused Polis Morauskas. Converts the free throw. That's a 3-point play. And after it was tied, the Zags back up by 5.
Good response by Gonzaga.
Nemhard was thinking about going for the steal. So Wessels is in the game. Morauskas on the bench. They'll set a screen for Jordan Ross, whose shot was rejected by Huff. Well, you don't think of defense when you think of Braden Huff, but that was a nice block.
Good job on the screen, moving his feet. Good timing up over the top. Almost landed on Ross out of bounds.
Gales got lucky that it didn't, otherwise it would have been Gonzaga ball. Shot clock down to 7. Luke Barrett making his way closer to the basket. Barrett scores. He does have 8 rebounds, Barrett, in this game. Battle again. Gosh, he's playing well.
That's a matchup problem right now. Caleb Battle frustrated with the foul trouble he had in the first half. You see the concerted effort by Mark Few to get the ball in his hands and let him start to cook here a little bit in the second half.
Yeah. They're picking on some mismatches. Battle and Huff especially getting the ball every time down the floor. That was a very dangerous pass. Marciulionis saved the turnover, but now the shot clock winded down. Under 5. He'll shoot a tough contested 3.
Not even close.
Not close. Shot clock violation.
Number 99 sees number 33 and goes, I got this. Quick first step, and his athleticism, when he is locked in, this Gonzaga team begins to look and feel a little different.
How about those two? That is impressive, because that's not the two you would necessarily circle at the start of the game. They've been awesome. This is one of the guys you circle. Ike going to work against Wessels. Ike, no! Got his own miss. Missed it again.
Harry Wessels' strength caused some issues for Graham Ike in that game, in particular in the second half up in Spokane.
He is a massive human being. Double team. He dribbled once to get away from it and then just threw it right to Battle. Battle behind the back, and Barrett just did a great job.
Tried to do a little too much that time. Great job by Barrett, though, to kind of pull the chair, and then he got caught in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a veteran move. Marciulionis, little pull-up jumper.
I do like that Mark Few is kind of protecting Ryan Nemhard right now on defense, having him guard Ross.
Yeah, it would be interesting if Lewis gets back in the game, whether he can do that.
That's why I would go to Lewis right now. Because you need Ryan Nembhard out of the game. You guys in the studio were talking about it at halftime before they get it back to us about if you can get Nembhard out of the game, boy, that changes this Gonzaga team.
Yeah. Saxon, it was poked away by Ike. Flips it up with the left hand. Wessels. And that is Battle ripping it away. Jump ball arrow favors the Zags. Ben Gregg's going to check in, and Huff will come out.
There's been some good offensive rebounds as normal for St. Mary's, but their efficiency scoring off of it not as high as it normally is. They have 10 offensive rebounds and only 7 points off of them. And Huff takes a break, gets a breather a little bit here. Remember last time Gregg checked in the game, he dunked on Saxon.
Ben Gregg, he didn't start. That move really paid off for the Zags, but he hadn't played many minutes at all. Huff's been a better matchup in this game. Ike goes baseline. Wessels forced him into another tough shot.
Now you have Nembhard back on Marshallonis. You're Randy Bennett. Give the WCC Player of the Year the ball and see if he can be aggressive and draw a foul.
Yeah. Instead, Ross drives. All right, now you got him isolated. That didn't work very well, did it? Ike tripped Wessels. Foul on Ike. Big bodies falling all over the place.
I think St. Mary's has got to be more opportunistic. You want to win this game, you want to try to win the WCC championship, you see Nembhard on Marshallonis, you got to go.
All right, back here in Vegas, his champ game in the West Coast Conference. The two-time West Coast Conference Player of the Year. Last 2 years, Augustas Marshallonis, senior year from Lithuania, son of a basketball Hall of Famer. He's had a great St. Mary's career. Part of the legacy and tradition of guard play in Moraga. Think of all the great players in this league over the years. There haven't been that many back-to-back winners of the Conference Player of the Year. You go back to USF days, Bill Cartwright, who won it 3 times in a row. The great Steve Nash at Santa Clara in the mid-90s, back-to-back Players of the Year awards. And then Drew Timme more recently with the Zags. Such an unbelievable college player and scorer. And a whole different skill set than all those other guys for Augustas Marshallonis.
Well, and those players all have a great knack of sensing a moment. Right now, the moment for Marshallonis is this. If you pick up the 4th personal foul on Nembhard, he has to go to the bench. And if he's defending you, you have to trust yourself that if you attack, you're still going to make the right play and the right read, and he will. But if you can draw that foul, that is more important than any made bucket you can get on this individual possession.
I think it's a good point. Now you got Nembhard back on Jordan Ross. Trying to...
That's why you got to bring in Lewis, because then he can't hide it.
Ross just is not an aggressive scorer. Mikey Lewis is. Marshallonis goes down the lane with a left hand. So strong on balance. Nembhard tried to hit Ike, but that's a turnover. A rare one. Sometimes you wonder, are you playing with 3 fouls? You start to go down the lane. Do you get a little less deliberate? Good entry pass. One dribble. Wessels goes up with a shot. No.
Never was on balance.
Never.
You know, so if you drop the ball, kick it back out.
Here's Ike.
Go to work, unless they double. Will Ross dig?
He did, but I don't know how much help that was.
Would you rather give Ike a 2-foot shot in the paint or Inocente a 3-point shot?
I know what my answer is. Ross down the lane. Jordan Ross stops. Jordan Ross, no. Got a good look, just didn't finish it. Now the Zags. Here's Ben Gregg. One dribble, shoots the 3, in and out. Ike, great offensive rebound.
We saw Ike take over in the second half. You got Saxon on him right now. He struggled with Wessels. Get him the ball with Saxon on him.
Gregg will try it again. Again, just a little too strong. He didn't shoot the ball as well this year as he has in his career. Late in the season, he started to make some of those.
In particular, in that game at the Chase Center that you called against USF.
Yeah, they dared him to shoot, and he burned him. Marciulionis spins, fouled.
That's Graham Ike's foul. That'll be his third personal.
So the two best players, the two most important players for Gonzaga, each have 3 fouls with 13:21 to go. Well, you made the point. St. Mary's, they've had some games, including the one where these two teams met at St. Mary's this year. Mikey Lewis checks in. We'll talk about that in a moment. That's big for the Gales. But the Gales can struggle at the free throw line. Tonight, they're 8 of 10. They're making their free throws. And Ike comes out. Nembhard stays in. Huff in for Ike.
Now who does Ryan Nembhard guard? And I think you got to isolate and go.
I'm with you. It's a good point.
I know it's not necessarily the makeup of St. Mary's, but exploiting matchups in the game of basketball really important.
Nembhard. Ooh, that might have been close to an offensive foul. Ball into the backcourt. And now the shot clock reset. That should not have reset. So they have to stop play.
$15 on the clock.
I think our lead official was saying 12, I thought. I'm just going to go whatever it says I'm going with.
So that works for me.
It says 15, let's go.
This is a matchup that the Zags have been exploiting.
Battle against Saxon. That's just good defense. Innocente couldn't grab it, but neither could Morauskas. Nembhard, fade away. Good!
Big bucket. Late in the shot clock, settle on 2, be strong at your base. Get that mid-range jump shot, that's where he thrives.
Teams don't get a lot of offensive rebounds against the Gales. Gonzaga took advantage of that one. Well, here's Lewis against Nembhard.
Go.
Yeah, don't be shy. Morauskas back to Lewis. Got a great look. No. Looked good out of his hand, just didn't go down. Neither team making threes. Huff, runner. St. Mary's is 0 for 9. Gonzaga's 1 for 12. Is that amazing or what? From 3.
It's amazing, but it's awful.
Barrett down the lane. Barrett draws a foul, giving Battle a little taste of his own medicine.
Now Nembhard playing with the 3 fouls. They haven't attacked him defensively late in the shot clock. He has great clock awareness. Look at him step back, settle on his base under 2 feet. Elevate up over the top of Marciulionis. Big time bucket by number 0.
(44-41). Less than 12 minutes to decide a championship in the West Coast Conference here in Las Vegas. And these two programs, we've talked about the rivalry, how many times they've met, the stakes when they meet. They're good every year under Randy Bennett, under Mark Few. Last 10 seasons in the whole sport, best winning percentage. Gonzaga's way ahead of everybody else. But St. Mary's is right there with Houston, Kansas, Duke. Think about that.
It's crazy. I mean, especially when you consider location, facilities, where that program was before both these two coaches took over.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the Zags have built up to where they match.
I mean, look, and again, Dan Monson got them there in 1999, but to take them from that moment, the Cinderella story, to one of the biggest brands in the sport, year in and year out. And for Randy Bennett, a program that had no lineage, to consistently challenging and stepping up and making a commitment to say, hey, the Zags did it. We want to be in the arena. We want to have a chance. And they've been able to do that.
With culture, belief, a plan, recruiting the right players, getting the players you know fit the way you want to play ball. Year after year after year. Battle finds Huff.
Marshalonis was late in the rotation on the help side. Great hands by Huff, able to finish. He's had a great game so far tonight.
Big time. He is such a talented scorer. I know it sounds weird because he doesn't start. Loose ball. Morauskas saves it. Huff doesn't play huge minutes. He doesn't start. He's one of the most talented big man scorers in the country. Morauskas for 3. Good Lord, way off to the side. He is just so off the mark tonight. 0 for 5, and it just hasn't looked right. Huff again. This time Saxon kept him from getting to the rim. Nembhard underneath the basket. The little Steve Nash play. We were just talking about Steve Nash. Turnover.
He's on Marshalonis on this possession. Somebody's got to go at him. If you want him to foul out of the game, if you want him on the bench, you have to attack 0.
They made it easy on him to stay in the game with the 3 fouls. Lewis was fouled.
They've attacked everyone else. Luke Barrett attacking Caleb Battle. Mikey Lewis right there. And now Nembhard will go to the bench.
Which I guess, in a way, that accomplishes what you were trying to accomplish, the point you were making, but still, he's probably not going to have to stay there for very long. I guess they did not call that a shooting foul. Lewis was fouled on the floor. Lewis was getting ready to shoot free throws. Morauskas comes out. Morauskas is shaking his head. 0 for 5, no points, 2 rebounds, 3 fouls. And he's been abused on the defensive end. Not a great pass. Battle in the open court, steps through, scores.
When Caleb Battle gets his shoulders past you downhill, pretty good.
He is a physically gifted young man. Hickman was right on Lewis, didn't let him get a shot off. Wessels gives it up. Good defensive possession for the Zags. Skip pass. Barrett. Barrett, no. Short on the 3. And they're going to call a foul against Innocenti. Zags fans love the call here.
Well, Caleb Battle gets the steal, and in the open floor, he is going to headhunt you and go right at you.
Well, he did have him by the arm. Here's Mikey Lewis. No. Saxon, offensive rebound. And he traveled.
We mentioned it at the top. St. Mary's only 2 made 3-pointers last night. They are 0 for 12 in this game.
And maybe the reason they're still in the game is Gonzaga's 1 for 12. When's the last time you had a game with teams this good? These two teams are really good. Battle, not that time. And combined 1 for 24 from 3. Wessels against Huff. Is that another travel? It is. Back-to-back possessions where the 2 St. Mary's big men travel.
Look at the scratch mark.
Oh.
I mean, that's Jokic-esque.
Oh. Do you think this game is a war?
There's a Wolverine out on the floor somewhere. Somebody find that guy.
9 minutes to go. Battle feeds Huff. No. And they're going to call St. Mary's for a foul as Ajayi hits the floor. Michael Ajayi's been quiet. He had some big moments in last night's game. Eddie Bennett shaking his head, but I think it's been a well-officiated game. Hickman shoots the 3. Still ice cold from the outside. This group on the floor for the Zags has played some good half-court defense the last few possessions. Saxon, a foul on Gonzaga, and I think, again, they're not saying a shooting foul.
How's that not a shooting foul?
I mean, maybe I'm misreading the body language of the officials. And I think they've called it a foul on the floor. You're not going to review that. They're maybe looking to see who committed the foul.
I think it'll be on Inocente, which will be his third. That would be my guess. To me, he's gathering to go up right there when he gets the foul. I mean, I don't.
That has to be a shooting foul. I know there was an awkward finish, but he was going to the basket, rising up to go get it on the glass.
He wasn't going to pass in that situation.
So that is Inocente, his third foul. 20 to shoot for St. Mary's.
Zags have been really aggressive defensively, pushing St. Mary's off that three-point line, extending their offense away from the basket. Yep. Good job there.
Still doing it. Lewis is going to shoot the three. In and out. St. Mary's hasn't made a single three in this game. Not one. We've got 8 minutes to go. Spin move. Huff. No. He doesn't miss many of those. I think Saxon's played a heck of a defensive game. Morawski still scoreless. Down on the low block against Ajayi. Elevates, missed it. Letting them play on that sequence. Out of bounds off of Gonzaga, though. And that takes us to our under 8 timeout.
Things are getting chippy here in Las Vegas. The intensity's ramping up as the minutes start to dwindle away. An automatic bid on the line in Vegas tonight.
Player Spotlight brought to you by Cintas. And Caleb Battle has had a great tournament. Last night was good. Tonight's been excellent.
In go mode at all times. He's been aggressive. He has 4 steals to go along with his 12 points and a couple of rebounds. But his level of aggressiveness on the defensive end has permeated through his team, and in particular in the second half, St. Mary's shooting just 27% from the field.
Yeah. You live with some of the bad shots. If he plays with energy and urgency like he has tonight, I think he'll take a bad shot every once in a while. He's so athletically gifted, so fast, explosive. And you're right, the defensive end has been particularly impressive for him. 6-point lead for the Zags. It's 48-42. These two teams, it hasn't been pretty for either team on the offensive end. Barrett on the inbound play, just kind of flipped it up and somehow it went in. St. Mary's needed that one.
But the Gales struggling to score here in the second half. Gonzaga hasn't pulled away.
Foul trouble maybe part of that. Nemhard back in, Ike back in. But the lack of outside shooting on both sides, one of the reasons why it's still close. Battle drives created for Ike.
What a pass. He's playing his best basketball of the season right now.
Great regular season finale in the win against San Francisco. Beat San Francisco again, played well against them again last night. And now he's been Gonzaga's best player in this championship game.
That was close to a travel.
Saxon against Ike. So he avoided the turnover, didn't quite travel, and got the basket. Under 7 minutes to go. Big night for Saxon.
Augustus Marciulionis, though, can take over this game a little bit more than he has.
Ike from that elbow area. No good. He's had a quieter game. Graham Ike has.
Really good start, and then it's just kind of dropped a little bit.
St. Mary's, with 6:12 to go, is going to use a timeout. Maybe let their top-line players catch their breath for the final push with a championship on the line. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Final minutes here in Las Vegas. It's been a great tournament from upsets and upstart teams to chalk at the end of the matchup that we get year after year, St. Mary's and Gonzaga. We'll see how it plays out in the ACC. That tournament got underway today. T. Rowe Price ACC men's tournament. The number one team in the country now is in the ACC. Duke is now number one. And look at that, Syracuse ends up beating Florida State.
Well, and of course, Leonard Hamilton.
Oh, that's it.
His final game as a head coach. He's been such a tremendous head coach and a leader for Florida State. Part of the coaching changes that you're seeing in that conference with Virginia, Miami, and now Florida State. But I think a tip of the cap to one of the great coaches, one of the great people and leaders that we've had in our game for a long period of time.
Glad you said that. I will miss him. Every time I had a Florida State game and had a chance to be around him, I enjoyed it.
Yep.
St. Mary's ball, down 4, 6 minutes to play. Marciulionis is going to get a screen, give it up. Shot clock winding down, and it's stolen. Ball on the floor. Shot clock violation. Now the question is, jump ball. No. Nope. Shot clock violation.
They tried to attack Nemhard that time, but they tried to attack it with Kobe Ross.
Not the same. And no offense to Ross. Look at those turnover numbers.
Tough to win against Gonzaga when you turn it over 15 times.
Battle pulls up for 3. No. Gonzaga on the other side has only turned it over 3 times. We figure this is a good matchup for Marciulionis. Gave it up to Saxon. Saxon finds Wessels, and his shot was blocked, but they call the foul against Ike. That was close. That's number 4 against Graham Ike.
And that'll bring Ben Gregg back in.
And I think he did get him on the hand and arm.
Yeah, he reached over the top. He went through verticality. Verticality is straight from the floor all the way straight up to the ceiling. When your arm comes down forward like that, 9 times out of the 10, the official's going to call it.
He was a little out of position, had to react and get over there. And now Wessels, who's a good free throw shooter ordinarily, but he missed it. Ike and Stromer out. Gregg and Hickman in with 5:21 to go.
Dave, if you told me that St. Mary's would have 15 turnovers and be 0 of 13 from the free throw line, and we'd be looking at a 3-point game with 5 minutes left to go, I'd tell you you're crazy.
Yeah. Haven't made a 3, have turned it over too much, haven't generated turnovers, not as many second chance points as usual, and they're only down 3. Tough. With the right hand, that's his offhand, and he scores.
And he's been huge tonight.
Oh, it turned out to be a brilliant move by Mark Few to get him in the starting lineup.
He's got 16.
Saxon needs some help. Out of bounds. Ooh, I don't know. Nemhard, got to be careful. He's already gotten 1 technical.
He's also got to be careful on the rake down on that ball.
Yeah, that might have gone off his hand. Shot clock winding down again, though, for the Gales. Marciulionis hits Wessels, who put it on the floor and lost it.
3rd shot clock violation in the last 8 possessions.
Hey,
good
Mary's
defense.
And
really
give the
good
Zags
defense.
credit.
I mean, they're rotating, they're swarming, they're putting the Gales in situations where they're uncomfortable, where they have to operate a little bit faster than they normally are accustomed to.
16th turnover. Battle feeds Huff. They're going to Braden Huff. He's going to get it back. That was a good delivery. Not this time. That was a right play by Caleb Battle. Good job of getting the ball out of Marshall Onis's hands, just not letting him initiate. Saxon gave it up. Ross didn't shoot it. Instead, a tough runner. No good.
Ross had time to settle and get a much better look up than that.
Here comes Nembhard. Pull up. No. Barrett snatches another rebound. That's his 9th in the game. Randy Bennett is going to, well, I thought he was asking for a timeout, and now they will use the timeout with 15 to shoot. That'll allow him to get Mikey Lewis and Polis Morauskas in the game. Gales need some offense from somewhere down 5 with 3:06 to go.
Braden Huff just has a knack for scoring the ball. When he gets into a rhythm early, it tends to compound over and over and over again, and he's been great. He's been assertive. He got put in the starting lineup tonight. He's 6 of 13 shooting, 14 points. He got a couple of assists, a couple of steals. His base underneath him at both ends of the floor has been really strong. He has matched the physicality that Mark Few challenged him to match in this matchup tonight against St. Mary's.
Nobody's taken more shots for the Zags than Huff has, and they've been good shots. They've been the right decisions. He was put in the starting lineup, and that has not happened much for the Zags, and that was a good move. That's been a difference in this game. He came back in with 4 fouls. Morauskas still hasn't scored. In and out. Gales still have not made a 3.
0 for 14 from 3.
Crazy. I know it's not the heart and soul of their team, but they're a pretty good shooting team.
Dave, we are under combined 3% shooting from beyond the arc for these two teams tonight.
And now Morauskas commits a foul. He just on
he can't stay on the floor. Russell's has got to come back in.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just this end of the floor. I mean, it's one thing you're not making your shots. It's another thing where they're picking on you so bad on this end. Randy Bennett had to take him out. Here comes Hickman. I'll get it back from Ike. It's been a quiet game for Nolan Hickman. 2.5 minutes to go. Zags have the ball, leading by 5. Battle against Saxon. Shoots a 3. No. Huff grabs the rebound. Little reset for Ryan Nembhard. Back to Huff. Runner. Good!
Huff continues to dominate this game. Such great composure, awareness to get to the spot where he can be successful.
Saxon's had a good game as well. 1:44 to go and another timeout.
Dave, not to berate the point, the worst three-point shooting game of the season that we've seen actually since 2000 was 8%, 2 of 23 combined between two teams.
In a championship setting?
In a championship tournament setting.
Wow.
So not regular season, but just these postseason tournaments. It's been since 2000, and that was 8%. We're under 3.
And I will say this: our friends in studio earlier tonight were talking about what's the ceiling for these two teams. Because you and I think these two teams are really good. They're talented. They've proven themselves over the years in tournament settings. But they're going to have to make more.
You got to make shots. You're going to have to in the NCAA tournament. But down the stretch of this game, all right, look at it twofold. One is you keep getting the ball to Huff if you're Gonzaga. There's no reason not to. Play through him. Doesn't mean he has to take the shot. But force the defense to have to react to where he is and what he's doing. Offensively for St. Mary's, somebody besides Mitchell Saxon has to hit a shot.
Yeah.
Saxon has 20 of the 49 points and has really been the only guy here in the second half that's been even remotely efficient at the offensive end.
It's so true. St. Mary's hasn't gotten a single point from their bench. I guess they've gotten officially 2 from their bench. But Jordan Ross has had a tough game. Mikey Lewis does have 5 points, so those count as bench points. But he hasn't made a shot from the outside. They could use a spark from him. All right.
Kettle South starting to get loud.
Swept in the regular season by St. Mary's. Trying to win this conference tournament championship tonight. They're trying to go through Huff. Hickman and Saxon rejected the pass. Marshallonis hustles after the ball, and Hickman got back and stole it away.
What a play by Nolan Hickman.
That was about to be 2 for the Gales. Instead, the lead's still 5.
Wow, what a play.
And it counts as another turnover. A basket might do it, and there's a basket. St. Mary's can't even get a shot off. Battle! 2-on-1. Lob! Dunks it home! That's a way to win a championship. Out of bounds off of the Zags. 27 seconds left.
Talk about making a statement. Great hands defensively by Caleb Battle. Go ahead and reward him. Up, and away. Caleb Battle and the Gonzaga Bulldogs emphatically punching their ticket as the automatic qualifier in the NCAA tournament. Here's the thing, too. We haven't talked about this. What does this do for Gonzaga? It keeps them probably out of that 8-9 matchup. Could get them to a 7. I don't think they can get higher than a 7. But you get to the 7, now you avoid a potential matchup with the #1 seed in that second round game.
And if you're a Zags fan, you can celebrate tonight and not worry about any of this stuff. But over the next few days, if you're watching Champ Week, Baylor's a team to circle. If Baylor could get some good wins, Baylor could help your strength of schedule and turn into a quad 1 victory, an extra one. Indiana's another team that could turn into an extra quad 1 win if you're a Zags fan. And we're done. Sports Center coming up next. Barrett will lay it in. Probably not going to matter at this point. 23 seconds left. Lots to talk about on Sports Center, including this game. The Zags with Battle, with Huff. Not the normal top-line stars for Gonzaga. Those two guys have been awesome tonight.
Well, all year long it was Ryan Nembhard. Now he's got 10 and 6. But, you know, you talk about making winning plays. And when you transfer to Gonzaga, you transfer for March. You transfer for moments like that. Caleb Battle just had one.
Battle is also the #1 free throw shooter of all players in college basketball. #1. And St. Mary's just fouled him. He'll go to the line.
Oh, I got one more foul to go.
You got to give one more. 18.9 seconds. Lead is 7. Try to get Battle the ball. That's a good plan in these late game situations. He's an incredible weapon.
Well, and in the tournament, in a close game, that could matter.
He's #1 of everybody. 95% free throw shooter.
An uncharacteristic year in some ways in Spokane. They've picked up 3 quad 1 victories now as Braden Huff gets a huge ovation.
Including from Graham Ike, who's out there on the court, his teammate.
But my point, Dave, is the win at Santa Clara, the win at San Francisco. It's both quad one. This is quad one victory here. That's 3 quad one victories in the last 4 games.
Yeah. Mikey Lewis, still no threes. That's going to be the story of this game.
It's over.
It's over.
The Zags came to Vegas, and the Zags did some Zag things. You don't think it mattered? Look at these guys. It wasn't the easiest all season long. But when March hit, the Zags kicked it into another gear. They came here to Vegas. They locked in defensively. They were physical. They took care of business off of turnovers. And they are your WCC tournament champions.
Lost both times in the regular season to St. Mary's, and they came here on a mission, played a heck of a game last night, and I know it wasn't pretty in some ways. I love the reaction there. How many battles has Mitchell Saxon had with Mark Few over the years? I mean, those two have gone head-to-head. And there's a ton of respect Mark Few has for Mitchell Saxon and what he's done in his career.
Just respect between these two programs. They may not like each other a lot when they're on the court, but these coaches, they respect the heck out of each other. And we go to March. Both these teams will be dancing, but one is the automatic qualifying champion, and it's the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Look at those smiles. Championship smiles in Vegas for Sean and our whole crew. Dave Fleming saying so long here. Zags are champs. SportsCenter time is now.